Hey everybody, welcome back to Low Life Plays. This is another deck tech for you. I had a lot of the stuff for Nadu sitting around, and I managed to pull one or two from the pre-release and from the box opening. So, figured I'd just jump into it, and I've been playtesting him, and I don't know how long I'll keep the deck together. It seems like it's honestly insane. I mean, I just threw this together with stuff I had. I didn't even have to go pick up anything, and it's crazy. So, before I jump into it, I just want to remind everybody, just please like, subscribe, just let me know how things are going. If you like these deck techs, you know, keeps you motivated to keep doing this kind of stuff. So, Nadu, Winged Wisdom, pretty insane card to come up here. Just one, a green and a blue for a 3/4 flyer. And the biggest thing here is creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it onto the battlefield. Not tapped, just put it into play. Otherwise, put it in your hand. You can only trigger this ability twice each turn. Not a problem, because it's just not. You'll see. So, that's him. We're going to run Ewit. I just, some of these are filler cards. Eternal Witness seemed good, just in case I needed to get back one of the key pieces of equipment or something, because that is the best way to probably, I think, stop what I'm trying to do, is to blow up one of those. So, I threw Eternal Witness in here to recur that piece. We've got Trash the Town. So, for one, it's a spree. You can put two, you can target multiple things. So you can give counters, you can target creature gains trample, target creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. The biggest thing here is what we're trying to do is have a lot of either dorks or landfall makers to make token creatures, and then we want to continuously target them. We can only target them twice each turn, but we can target each of them twice, which I think is the key misconception some people have with Nadu, and he's just so busted. But Trash the Town helps because it lets us instant speed counter, or not counter, instant speed target. Feral Encounter, this is just a test card. I needed to just throw some more stuff in here, and this seemed to be alright. You look at the top 5 cards, you can get a creature, you can cast it, and then it can target by fighting. So, or at the beginning of next combat phase's turn, target creature you control deals combat damage. So it's a bite, not a fight. So that's nice. And it's just some card draw. Harbinger of the Seas. I'm using this just because to slow people down, really, just non-basic lands or islands. It's just a powerful, it's like, it's just nice. Nice to just kind of trip people up, keep people slow, while we just explode. Unctus, this guy is pretty amazing for this type of a deck. I mean, it takes 1 Phyrexian blue, and you can make target creature you control becomes a blue artifact. So that's really the big thing we're using it for, is just targeting, but it has other synergistic pieces to it, because when another blue creature you control, they get, when it becomes tapped, you can draw a card, discard a card. So there are some synergistic pieces with tapping and untapping to just also add a draw effect, but it's really in here to pay life to target, which is very, very nice. Spellskite. One reason that Nadu is also very powerful is, if you target to remove him, then I can start doing my triggers, which is just crazy strong. But so sometimes they might avoid targeting your own stuff if you're kind of stuck in a moment where you can't really, maybe you're not drawing the exact stuff you need to start targeting or get that chain going. Spellskite can help with that. Someone targets something with something beneficial. Nah, it's mine now. I'm going to pay 1 blue, or I don't even have to have mana up. I can pay life, target Spellskite, trigger Nadu. Really, really good. It can also just be protection for Nadu to keep things away from him, because people will want to kill him. He is very crazy. Malevolent Hermit. This is just another one I always liked to try. I've been trying to have my effects on creatures, because we just really have to have a few creatures out to start swapping between equipments, and that way so we can keep triggering Nadu and just explode. Which, having Malevolent Hermit really helps, just because it is a counterspell on a creature with its own disturb ability, so it can come back. Same thing with Glenalendra. This is just, it's a straight up counter spell. Counter target non-creature, well, it's a negate, but target non-creature spell just for 1, and it has persist, so it'll do it again, which is super nice. We're running Swan Song, running negate. Repulsive Mutation I thought was good, just because you pay X, and it's a counter spell that also targets a creature you control, so it can trigger Nadu while also protecting them. And then, counter up to 1 target spell unless its controller pays mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Which you do have some strong ones, but even if you just had Nadu and you put 1 into this, that'd be 4. So pretty impressive. Void Slime, This is, it's a thrown together build. I think it works really well, but I always like to try and get Void Slime out, because just I love stifle effects. So having something that can counter activated abilities or triggered abilities, in addition to having the variance of just countering a spell, so it's not a dead card, but it also has that utility that can really get people. Void Slime. We did pull Flare of Denial, really, really powerful card. I mean, it's a free counter spell. You may sacrifice a non-blue creature, or a non-token blue creature rather than pay its cost. Really good. We're running Coiling Oracle just as a value. Just if it ETBs, maybe we can get another land. Topiary Stomper, another kind of land trigger. These guys are all just trying to get us lands into play. We're trying to ramp that way. But we got the Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Thought Vessel's pretty big because you are drawing a metric ton of cards. So having this in play can be really nice to just keep your hand yours. We got some removal here. We got Reality Shift. We got Beast Within. I'm running Oko because I'm degenerate. But really, I just had a Oko sitting around, and this felt like a good spot to put him, just to help, keep things down. Where a target, you can just elk some things. That could be pretty helpful for us. Running Rex Sage, really good. And then I'm also running Acidic Slime. This seems probably a little bit too high-end. Or not too high-end, but yeah, just like 5 on the curve. I'm not super sure. But it does have a lot of flexibility in pulling us lands. So, I don't know. I'll see how it works. Then we got our Dork section. So we got Llanowar Elf, Elvish Mystic, Finhorn Elves, Birds of Paradise. And then we have our new one, Fanatic of Ronus. This he's pretty strong. I mean, for one, he's a 2-mana Dork that can tap for 4 if you have a creature with 4 or greater power, which can be pretty easy here. And then having the Eternalize factor is really awesome because, I mean, if you Eternalize him as a Zombie Snake token, as a 4/4, he activates his own ability. So, really good. Kiora's Follower. I'm testing out some tapping synergistic pieces here. So, I mean, I'm running, I think, 3. Yeah, I was going to run 4, but I couldn't find a cut that I liked at the moment. I haven't play tested this a ton. But essentially, the game plan here is pretty simple, where if you have 2 of these pieces out, you tap 1 to target the other, so that if this was the situation, you tap this to untap this, tap this, untap this. This would let you, if you're not drawing into what you need, it gives you an engine that you can turn on other people's turns. And then Vizier of Tumbling Sands can be a flex slot into those, but he can also cycle to just do his own trigger there too. So that's pretty nice. And then we're going to protect Nadu. Like I said, people are going to want to blow him up. So we're going to run Tamio's Safekeeping, just Hexproof Indestructible. We're going to run Snakeskin Veil, Hexproof, Tyvar's Stand, Indestructible Hexproof, Royal Treatment. This gives us Hexproof. And then I'm also running Fleeting Reflection, just because I think it's fun, and I think it could be neat. If you need to target Nadu, or you can target another big thing and save it from being destroyed and turn it into something crazy. I don't know. Seems pretty fun. It's really in here just because of the hexproof ability, but I liked just testing it out. Now we're getting into our equipment, right? So I don't have Shuko. That thing was like $5, and now it's like it's like 25, 30 bucks. But you don't need it. Everyone's got probably most of this stuff. A bone saw is like nothing. I only have this in here because it's a 0 cost equipment. That seems pretty nice. 0 cost, you can have it come down turn 4. So turn 3, you, ramp or do whatever you want to do, but then on turn 4 you can play Nadu, play bone saw, equip Nadu, and maybe start doing some things. It can be pretty good. But that's why it's in here. This is probably the most flexible slot for equipment. You could try other things. I know leather armor could be something. That seems a little slow to me because I don't like the restriction. I think keeping it to an equip 1, if you can't have the equip 0, is the best you can do. So, bone saw, or if I had a paradise mantle, that's probably what this would be. But I don't have one of those, and it's also getting up there. So, nope. And then we're running some boots, Lava Spur boots. This helps. The haste enabler is really, really nice because we have all those dorks. So being able to go equip a boot, give it haste. The ward protection is also good. But that's why we're also running Swiftfoot boots, right? These are very similar. They give haste. They give a little bit of protection. This one gives more protection, obviously. But that's kind of the main goal there. All right. So now we're here with these equipment here. I have 2 specific pieces, and they are really the bread and butter of what makes Nadu work the way he works, or explode so crazy. So most people will probably have a Lightning Greaves sitting around. So if you wanted to throw it into Nadu, I mean, this is one of the key pieces you need. And then just tutor and recursion for it, just to protect it. But essentially, this and Umber Mantle. So I had this because I had an elf deck for a long time, so I had an Umber Mantle sitting around. So I pulled it from that. And the real key reason they're in here at all is just the equip 0. I mean, that's really the only reason that they're here. The haste helps here. I don't think I'll use that ability much, but we'll show an interaction here at the end of how that whole stack works and how you're trying to explode. But essentially that's what that is. And that's what Tribute Mage is here for. Tribute Mage is here to go and get me my Lightning Greaves, just because this is the most beneficial equipment I have. And then we also run Fabricate to get any of the pieces that we might need, just because they're so integral to kind of what we're trying to do. Now we're getting into our landfall. So we're running Lotus Cobra, which is just an amazing, which, you know, if you played Landfall before, Lotus Cobra is crazy. Just the ability to, especially with Nadu, where you're just consistently dropping lands, it really helps keep your train going. And maybe if you didn't have enough mana to cast and win, this can help get you there. So really, really powerful. Same thing with Bristly Bill. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. The ability to target things whenever lands ETB is so powerful in this build. It's doing everything we want to do. And then Bristly Bill's ability to double the +1/+1 counters. I don't think we'll really use that. It's really in here just as the landfall targeting mechanic. That's really nice for us. Tatiova, I mean, if we're doing land stuff, she just does everything we need to do, right? She's so, so good. She draws you cards, she gains you life. It's just everything we need. And then we got the Tireless Tracker. So, this one will investigate whenever we have a land ETB, so it can be additional card draw or run out of gas. And then Tireless Provisioner can just make treasure tokens, or food if you really need to. But ideally, I think I'm going to focus on treasure tokens whenever I'm making landfall triggers. Happy I pulled this Nantuko. Anything that is a landfall trigger that also makes a creature just makes it so every time a land ETBs, if we have Nadu out in an equipment, that's 2 extra potential landfall triggers. So really, really good. Having just this for 2 mana, super powerful. And the ability to just bestow it on something and maybe start making tokens of something that's even crazier, just gives a lot of potential here. Now we are running Scoot Swarm. I don't really, I'm not a huge fan of Scoot Swarm just because of the math. It's a lot to have to deal with. But in this type of a deck, it is such an integral part to just winning and making sure we have all the resources we need that we're going to run him. So we got Scooty Booty. We got Royal Elemental just as a very powerful landfall ability. Whenever land ETBs, you just gain control of target creature as long as you control Royal Elemental. So you can just start stealing other people's things and just kind of make a board state where you're just going to win. Green Sleeves. Like I said, we're a big fan of anything that makes tokens when we're having lands ETB. So not only is Green Sleeves a very big threat in this type of a deck, but it's making 3/3s. So that's just very, very powerful. One of our biggest win cons here, Avenger of Zendikar, just making all of our plant tokens and then making them huge is just super, super easy. And then probably on par with him and what we're trying to do is Rampaging Baloth. So it makes 4/4 beasts every time, so this can really help get us there. And then how are we going to get in there and swing on the turn that we make all this stuff? Because in my experience playtesting the deck, a lot of the times we're just going to explode and we're just going to win. So how do we attack on the turn that we exploded? Concordant Crossroads, very easy way to do it. It does affect the whole, it's a world enchantment, but doesn't really matter because we're really only going to drop it as more of a combat trick for us. We're just going to be like, all right, now we're going to attack with everything and win. We also were running Finale of Devastation. I know this one can be a little bit higher end, but it just helps get you there. Just you put 10 into this, your creatures gain haste, there you go. It can just destroy things. And if you do need to go fetch something else, like maybe you need to go fetch one of those big things, or I don't really know what you might need, but it's really in here just to pay 10 and give everybody haste and huge board states, and you'll have the mana to do it. So, Displacer Kitten. Displacer Kitten has an amazing interaction with Nadu. So, the way Nadu is worded, it can only trigger twice each turn, but it is giving the creatures that ability. So if you flicker Nadu, it will reset that, and you can then target them again. So if you are maybe you haven't drawn into one of those landfall creature token makers, then you can use Displacer Kitten and just any sort of non-creature spell to facilitate that until you get there. So Displacer Kitten is very, very good. Then we get into our lands, running 40 lands. We want to make sure we hit all of our land drops and our extra lands from Nadu. It's very integral to the part. I might even up it a little bit more just because of how important it is to making those landfalls hit. So we're running Command Tower, Vine Glimmer, Rejuvenating Springs, Simic Growth Chamber, Breeding Pool. These are our dual lands, or any color lands. And then we're running Reliquary Tower. It's our only real colorless land. We do have these other two fetchables with Bountiful Landscape and Foreboding Landscape, both able to fetch our two colors that we need. And then we are running a bunch of forests. I would like to, if this is a deck I want to keep together, maybe start theming my forests to it like I like to do. But we're running about 5, 10, 15. We're running 18 forests. We're pretty evenly split. I think our green is definitely a little bit higher than our blue, but we'll have to just see right now, right? 5, 4. Yeah, so we're running 14 of our islands. So really, really strong, really, really powerful mechanic. This deck, I have fun playing it, but I don't know how long I'm going to keep it together just because of how explosive it is. There's not a lot you can do. So the way, like I said, the way everything works is if you have Nadu and another creature out, really all you're trying to do is just, move Lightning Greaves, move it over here, move it over here, and then boom. Essentially, you do that, you win. It's crazy. So I suggest you don't need all these things in here. All you really need is just some landfall creatures like Avenger of Zendikar, Rampaging Baloths, Scoot Swarm, which I know those aren't super crazy expensive. And then a Nadu, I know he's spiked up pretty high, but you got your Lightning Greaves probably, and then you just tutor for it. And I think it could be a pretty easy deck to throw together to compete at more high-end tables, because it's impressive. It is very, very impressive. So that's really all I have to say about Nadu. I might work on this some more, but if you have any comments or questions about the deck, just please leave a comment down below. But outside of that, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.